Well, for more on this new leftist alliance, we can bring in Hélène Conway-Mouret, a French senator with the Socialist Party. Thank you very much for speaking to us here on France 24 today. What is your take on this new left-wing alliance ahead of those upcoming legislative elections? Is this, in your opinion, the right way to go?
Well, good morning. I think there is no choice at all, or no other choice to be made, given the danger of having Mr. Bardella as Prime Minister of France and having the extreme right in power. So we have no time. I mean, the candidates have to organize themselves and declare that they are candidates by the end of the week. They have to organize the whole election, which is going to be in 3 weeks' time. So the danger is either to come together and try to prevent the extreme right seizing power, or continuing to try to survive individually, which is not an option today, as the left is the only parties really capable of blocking the extreme right coming to power.
So you say that parties on the left acting individually simply isn't an option. But how on earth do you go about drafting a single manifesto that all these parties on the left, including your own Socialist Party, can get behind in good conscience?
Well, manifesto is not going to be published in 4 days, so it's the main points that are going to be agreed upon, which is already the case as to the type of campaign, the main options that are going to be presented. This is a snap election. This is something that has never been in France, and in fact, everybody has been taken by surprise. I mean, the president didn't have to call this snap election, given that the majority in the European Parliament hasn't changed. So it's simply, I think, for him to live up to his dream of 2017, when he felt he was going to isolate the extreme left and extreme right and build this big majority center, right, left, and but it hasn't happened. What he has done since 2017 is in fact make the extremes grow, and now that he has realized that they're out of control, he's trying to relive this dream which hasn't worked 7 years ago. So I think he's taking a big risk, but not just for himself. He likes gambling, he likes taking risks, but now he's creating an instability, political instability in France, which is not a good thing after seeing its economic grade being downgraded and so on. So it is a big risk, and I think the left is coming together, just forgetting the differences that there may be between the different parties, simply to say that we're doing that for our country.
Now, you say it's time to put various differences between the leftist parties behind you, but there are major sticking points between different parties on the left. I'm thinking, just for one example, parties' stances on the war in Gaza. How are you going to resolve those in, as you say, less than 3 weeks' time?
Well, they do not have to be resolved. As I said, it is not the competition, the normal kind of competition between, parties who try to have a maximum of candidates being elected. This is coming together to block the extreme right, and then having, a majority within the National Assembly that will not be, from the extreme right. This is the only objective. So I think those differences are not going to come to play a major role, as indeed, when you look at the votes for the past few years between the left-wing parties, you see that, they're voting together, against the pension reform that the government has put forward. Now there is a new unemployment reform being, put on the table, and on those, on all the social issues, indeed there is a convergence of views. So that is on the left-wing parties are coming together.
And my last question, and it is a big one, do we have any idea of who would be leading this left-wing alliance? Would, for example, the Socialists consider Jean-Luc Mélenchon in the name of leftist unity?
Well, I think there is a national council this evening, being called. So I think there will be voices against Jean-Luc Mélenchon, who does not represent for the vast majority of the socialist kind of views, especially on the international affairs. So I think, being, sorry for repeating myself, but it's a 3-week election, campaign, and it's not who will emerge as the leader of the left or the right or whatever. It's, well, whether we will succeed collectively in blocking the extreme right coming to power. I mean, that is the most important thing. And then, 2027 will be, of course, in people's mind, but that's the next election, not this one. Let's not confuse, the elections and what is at stake at the moment.
Hélène Conway-Mouret, French Senator with the Socialist Party, thank you so much for speaking to us here on Daybreak today.
Thank you to you.